Hey guys, Rinji here, once again bring you the worst out of the VTuber community. And it has become a slogan at this point, this the worst out of the VTuber community. And often it's kind of an exaggeration because some of the things I do cover scale from minor to major. And today's story is one of the major ones. I would say it's some of the worst behavior you can find that surrounds VTubers and is directed at specific VTubers, especially lolly VTubers that basically do nothing or do the exact opposite that they're accused of. And today's story is of one VTuber that tried to protect kids from adults, that would, try to interact with those kids for whatever reasons. Potential grooming and actual grooming is a serious thing on Twitter, and you see it everywhere. I personally have reported accounts of actual minors sexualizing themselves for adults. Those adults, that follow them have been also implicit in acting sexual with these minors and wanting kids to have nothing to do with any kind of adult content on Twitter is just the norm, as it should be. But a lot of people don't seem to care about that on Twitter, and that's pretty much today's story. So let's get right into it. Age check. Yeah, totally, and don't be shy to ask for your mood's full legal names, social security numbers, birthdays, address, and mother's maiden names next. I don't want to be moots with an 11-year-old, bro. Just put minor. Exact age isn't necessary. Also, don't quote retweet 15-year-olds. That's just weird. A lolly apologist and porn distributor. Literally, you're gross. Reported. Reported for what? I'm literally an advocate for child protection as victim of abuse myself. You're going to waste Twitter's time because I'm an anime girl? Guess what? I'm a CSA victim myself, and I don't consume lolly because it attracts the very people that hurt me. It can, sure. Call of Duty can attract murderers. Fiction can make people feel a way, but overwhelmingly studies have done that show no correlation between consuming lolly media and offending, or re-offending. Trigger warning, CSA. Bodily autonomy. Pedophilia is illegal and immoral because minors cannot consent. It's not because small bodies are taboo. It's because the pilots of those bodies overwhelmingly do not have bodily autonomy under the age of 18, and so on and so forth with this thread that I already actually talked about too, but we'll see in a moment how little these people care about any of that. You're comparing Call of Duty to child pornography, which it isn't. Just child pornography, or rather what it's supposed to be. CSA needs an actual child, needs an actual victim for it to be that. You don't even use that term CP anymore because it has proper qualifications and it's classified in certain ways in order to avoid these sorts of situations where what could say that a minor consented to something, because that's usually how pornography was defined. So that's why these terms changed, but that's neither here and there. Let's continue on with the story. No, I am not. Real kids should be protected at all costs. I am comparing fiction to reality. Murder and CP are despicable and should rot in prison or get the chair. Should not over drawings or video games. Stop interacting with my page. Frankly, people like you repulse me to my core. You should be put down. Leave me alone. Yeah, you should be put down for wanting to protect kids and not wanting predators to go around hurting children. That's a despicable stance to have. Moving on. You support calling victims of rape pedos because of anime, and you're smiling while your followers attack me. Even though I'm bedridden and disabled and kids repulse me. What the fuck are you on about? I like anime, I'm not a weirdo. There's no correlation there. It's just unequivocally illegal to own CP, so you default to drawings. Well, that's a stretch and a half. Psychologists will have a word with you about that sort of thing. Also, your current state has nothing to do with the predatory opinions you've decided to share. That's manipulative. Again, said predatory opinions to keep kids away from adults, and wanting to make a distinction about what's real and what isn't, and wanting abusers to be accountable for their crimes. But despicable opinions and manipulation, apparently. Now I would never consume content of real flesh and blood kids. I would shake and cry and vomit. I have trauma. Don't accuse me of things I would never do. And why do you do it with art and media? Do you read about it too? Would you enjoy watching it if you were an adult playing the role of a child being molested? Well, that's still just roleplay then. You might think of it as disgusting or anything like that, but then again, it's still adults involved in that kind of content. Listen, I'm sure you have trauma, which is why you don't need to go to talk to someone. Sexualizing your trauma isn't healthy. Sexualizing a trauma is completely fine. For years, I repressed my trauma and I was a husk. Sexualizing it freed me from the reclusive cage my abuser stuck me in, and has left me become free and smile again. Being small is not about being a child, it's about reclaiming that power. And this is where it actually gets the worst out of the VTuber community, so to speak. Hey, I don't know who told you sexualizing child molestation, even if it was your case, was okay. Definitely not a psychologist, but they lied to you. Please get support to better move on from this trauma that's affecting your day-to-day life still. I'm gonna stop responding and block now. Fucking fantastic. 20-year-old wanting to teach someone about their own fucking trauma and how they deal with it. This is ever so fucking common on Twitter. It's really some of the worst stuff you can see on there. Other than, actual abuse coupled with graphic imagery of all kinds. And here's that person that was first responded to, basically mocking them. You're laughing. People are bullying me because I draw lolly and you're laughing. Yep. That's just how they operate. They're gonna be bullying a abuse survivor just because they don't agree with the kind of fiction they consume. Even though most of the time they would share their own stances, like just keeping abusers accountable and keeping kids safe. But, it is what it is. I just said you should not interact with minors. It's ironic that your response to that is to deflect and tell me I'm a pedo. I'll die having never hurt a child and never make a victim of CSA feel like they need to feel like their abuser because of my opinion on their coping. You draw kids naked, just die at this point. Fucking fantastic. Getting harassed for telling an adult not to interact with a minor, then them pointing at lolly in my bio and being like, shut up. Like, it is that hard to just leave kids alone? Seemed to me like the lolly isn't the problem here. Project harder. Because you can't talk when you're fetishizing kids, stupid. Yeah, this must be a minor. The Korean profile picture and the way they talk. I would be sincerely in disbelief if this wasn't some kind of stupid minor. People are posting my uncensored lolly art without the censorship filter, where minors/people who it triggers can see it. It should be censored, and the fact that you're willing to expose minors to that, I'm really pissing me off. At FBI, at Twitter support, person posting lolly child porn. Please stop wasting their time. There are actual predators out there, and you're going to delay them for this nothing burger. Just put minor exact ages if necessary. Also, don't quote 15-year-olds. That's just weird. But you're lolly, and, people that think this is pedophilia are gonna be sharing this around anyway, because standards and not ones of the double kind. And here's you are fallen's censored lolly pictures because YouTube hates that kind of thing. Please don't post my censored post uncensored. That content should be under a nudity filter. You're literally like children, dog. Be quiet. I don't. Those are pictures of my OC, which I used to cope with my own sexual trauma. Please stop harassing me by posting it uncensored. It should be censored. Kill yourself, you have trauma. Don't sexualize children, you fat freak. Just no comment. It speaks for itself. Fuck these people, seriously. Getting death threats in my DMs, and not only in DMs, as you just seen. And replies now. Those people want to protect kids. Maybe don't wish death on the girl who is proactively trying to keep adults away from kids. Go figure, one of the people who sent me death threat is already suspended. Shame you're not. The people brigading me sure are interested in kids. And here's one of the person that just replied to her. So glad you're shaking and upset. Hope you feel worse. So sad, I'm getting triggered, so I'm gonna mass block everyone involved. When I start shaking, then it's time to just block everyone. And here's this person. 15 plus. And they're 19. I know the age difference isn't too much, but what is an adult looking to do with fucking kids? And clearly indicates it in their profile. These suspect groomers are fucking everywhere on Twitter. It's a huge fucking problem. I wish this platform would go and explode. As funny as some of that shit is, it really doesn't contribute much. Especially when people like this are involved. It's just so fucking bad. And here's more from that person. Are we surprised? Now you need to off yourself. I'm so serious. Having sex with a married woman to feel like Ryan Ross. And yeah, and that's it for today's story. If you aren't disgusted yet, I don't know what that tells about you, but I'm annoyed quite a bit. But I would be a lie if I didn't say that I haven't seen things like this before happen on Twitter. Things that were much more despicable than this, if you want to believe it or not. But yeah, if you see people acting like this, I don't think they deserve any kind of kind treatment. Block and move on, and if they start acting the way they do, use your best judgment on what to do with them, because I don't think they deserve any courtesy. But for now, that's everything, and I hope to see you on the next one.